an education for me, but not for thee, especially if you are Chinese. You thought that we got out of the anti-AAPI hate cycle? Because listen, that is alive and well in the Trump administration. It's not just anti-immigrant sentiment. It is not just limited to the Hispanics. It's not just limited to, certain groups of people. It is alive and well and thriving in the Trump administration. And the latest attack is on Chinese students. Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, who you would think has better things to be doing, announcing on Wednesday that the United States will, quote, aggressively revoke the visas of Chinese students. Let's go to the language of the announcement. It's entitled, quote, new visa policies put America first, comma, not China. I don't think anybody was thinking that it was China first, but it goes on to say, quote, under President Trump's leadership, the U.S. State Department will work with the Department of Homeland Security to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. We will also revise visa criteria to enhance scrutiny of all future visa applications from the People's Republic of China and Hong Kong. Period. That's it. No elaboration, no detail, nothing more than that. The numbers are staggering. There are approximately 275,000 Chinese students in the United States. And in addition, the people that will be impacted, professors, university administrators, people that rely upon these students for research and for financial support. Did you know that American universities, laboratories that are doing research, not only are they doing valuable research that benefit all Americans, not just Chinese Americans, right? Not only are they doing this valuable research, but the money that is paid in tuition by these students from China, as well as any foreign students, that it goes to support these institutions. It goes to support these centers of learning. This is not just some free for all that is provided to foreign students. And listen, this is not a coincidence as this is coming on the heels of Trump attacking Harvard University and revoking or attempting to revoke. Because remember, a federal judge said, that's not going to happen. But the Trump administration attempting to revoke the ability for Harvard to have foreign students studying there. And what's that? 27% of Harvard's student body are foreign students. I mean, it's very obvious that, again, this is state-sanctioned xenophobia, but it's a pressure campaign on Harvard and on China. Why? The tariffs. This is only to be able to try to exact some type of, punishment on China because China is kicking Trump's ass. This isn't the first time that Trump has tried to do this. In Trump 1.0 in 2020, officials in the first Trump administration canceled the visas of more than 1,000 Chinese graduate students and researchers after announcing that they were banning from campuses Chinese students with direct ties to military universities in their country. I mean, folks, I'm not diminishing the importance of making sure that we investigate appropriately espionage, spies, anybody that wants to do harm to our country, domestic and foreign. I'm not saying that that's not what we do, but I think you have to have a plan. This is not a plan. None of this is well executed. None of this is well implemented. None of this has a legitimate, actual reason behind it. And that is what I am criticizing here. It is the absence of a plan, a reason behind why they're doing this, other than just be vindictive against Chinese students at this time. Gary Locke, the U.S. ambassador to China in the Obama administration and the chairman of the Committee of 100, an advocacy group of prominent Chinese Americans, says the following, quote, shutting the door on Chinese students doesn't just betray our values, it weakens our leadership in science, technology, and innovation. China had the second largest share of the more than 1.1 million international students who enrolled in American higher education institutions in the 2023-2024 term. More than 277,000 students came from China, behind India, with its more than 331,000 students. The number of Chinese students had dropped 4% from the previous academic year, while the number from India had surged by 23%, and this is in the New York Times. I mean, think about how mad Americans would be if China, India, and other countries just unilaterally decided for no good reason to just revoke the visas for American students to study abroad. This is the type of isolationism that's not healthy. This is the type of, xenophobic isolationism that makes us look weak. The irony is Trump thinks it makes us stronger. And yet when we try to put ourselves in a position of arrogance that we are going to dictate things like students coming to study, it just makes us look weak. And it also makes us look like very, very small people. Education is supposed to know no bounds. I mean, I know there's the practical implications financially of education, but education is supposed to be available to all. And this idea that we're going to gatekeep education because we just don't like the country from whence the children are coming or the students are coming is bullshit. And then, of course, and this is such a tell, right? Marco Rubio also announced visa restrictions the day before this announcement concerning Chinese students. He sent a cable to U.S. embassies and consulates telling them to halt interview appointments for foreign citizens applying for student and exchange visas. Those are visa categories F, M, and J. What are those? Those are the Harvard visas that we know are under attack for the students that are studying at Harvard University. Kristi Noem, when she was dealing with the announcement concerning Harvard University and the revocation of that certification for the foreign students there, said that they wanted to seek to hold Harvard accountable for fostering violence, anti-Semitism, and, quote, coordinating with the Chinese Community Party on its campus. I mean, they should not put a period at the end of these announcements because they're just going to keep going, right? I mean, we're just going to keep on adding countries with whom we don't agree. And yeah, and to the dumbasses that are going to sit there and say, oh, Katie Phang is celebrating communism. I'm not celebrating communism. I'm saying that there is no clear articulable reason provided as to why you're revoking these Chinese students' visas. And even more importantly, and again, this is kind of in the bigger immigration context for this administration, why don't you give some proof if you're going to sit there and revoke somebody's visa? Before you deport or kidnap somebody off of foreign soil, why don't you actually have some due process? Why don't you actually give some proof as to why this is happening? This type of gamesmanship is just unacceptable. And of course, the Wall Street Journal, Politico reporting here, a consular official speaking on the condition of anonymity because of a, quote, ban on talking to journalists, expressed surprise at the directive, the Marco Rubio directive, saying U.S. embassies have received no instructions about it. Of course they haven't. Because this stuff just happens. People talk out of their ass in this administration. They don't have any type of guidance that's given to the people that are actually implementing it, like the U.S. consulates, like the administrators, right? They don't even give this guidance. And so now you have all of this uncertainty and fear. That is their currency, folks. The currency of fear and intimidation. They want students to be terrified that they're either going to get deported, rounded up, or they're going to be shut out of things. They're going to have to go home. They're not going to be able to get an education. They want to foster that fear because that gives them a false sense of security and power. But we all know that those are just paper tigers, people. Paper tigers. That's all they are. I just wanted to close with the following. Anti-AAPI hate is very real. I speak from a place of experience involving it, but I want to share the latest study from Stop AAPI Hate, a fantastic organization. In April of 2025, it released its latest report called Bracing for Impact, Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Confront Trump's Return. In a January 2025 survey, conducted with a nonpartisan research organization at the University of Chicago, right before the inauguration of Donald Trump, they interviewed or they surveyed 1,600 Asian American and Pacific Islander adults about their familiarity with and their views on anti-immigrant and anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion policies and their outlook for Trump's impact on AAPI communities. Only, and I want to read this, only 1 in 10 AAPI adults believed that racial and economic challenges for AAPI communities would decrease in the next 4 years under the Trump administration. The majority of them thought that Trump would be bad for the AAPI communities. The discrimination is real, people. It is not just limited to the Asians. We have to unite our communities to fight back because this aggressive revocation of visas for Chinese students, today it's the Chinese students, tomorrow it's others. And it is important for us to have unity in the way that we are approaching fighting back against this administration and the punishment of the students at Harvard. And remember, it's not just Harvard. It's going to be another university tomorrow. The punishment of these Chinese students, by the way, not just at Harvard now, the Chinese students across the United States that are here studying on student visas, that is just retaliatory, punitive conduct from this administration, and it has to stop. And the way that we get it to stop is we speak up and we speak out about it. And that is why we are sharing this information here at the Katie Phang News Channel. So be mad, be outraged, demand accountability, and let's start in our own communities, and let's make sure that we're taking care of each other. I'll see you on the other side. Katie Phang here. The truth matters now more than ever. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.